Hey guys, what's going on? It's Kygo1324 up here today with part 4 of the PS2 collection. I was going to say PS4 then. But yeah guys, this is the biggest part. So this intro is going to be nice and short. We're going to get straight into it. The biggest part, there's about 200 games here to go through, roughly. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have been counting how many games I've had in all the videos. Let me know, because I'd love to know. One day I'm going to count them all anyway, but if you do that, it will save me so much time. Anyway, let's get straight into it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and all of that stuff, and let me know at the end. And you know, let's just get straight into it, guys. These were in alphabetical order, but now it's all mixed up and all this stuff. That's the only problem. But then again, if I get new bookcases and things anyway, they'll be moved around and stuff, and my hair is absolutely all over the place. Anyway, let's get straight into it with Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. There's 2 Indiana Jones games on the PS2. And I always forget which one I have. I knew I had one of them, but it's the Emperor's Tomb that I have, and I can't remember what the other one is called. But these games are sort of like beat 'em up adventure games. I've heard good things about these games. I think one of them's better than the other one. I think the other one is the one that I often hear about. But Indiana Jones, great movie series, and the games have been so-so. But this one I hear is alright. Then we have Hunter the Reckoning, Wayward. Sorry, I sometimes have a speech impediment. Sorry, I'm joking if anyone has that, but I do sometimes say things wrong. This is an awesome game, actually. This is sort of like a top-down, hack and slash, zombie, beat 'em up action game. It's really fun. I remember playing this game. I have to give it a go again. Like I said, I'm going to have to play a lot of these games. Then we have Hot Wheels World Race. The Hot Wheels games are a lot of fun if you enjoy arcade style racing games. Hot Wheel games are fantastic, and obviously growing up with Hot Wheel cars, I love the Hot Wheel series. We have Stunt Track Challenge, another Hot Wheels game, and I remember this one. This is a pretty fun game. It was one of the actual first games that I got with my PS2 collection. Thank you very much, Ryan, once again. Home Alone, another game shut out by Blast. There's a little bit of a pattern going on here, Blast. Did you make every single movie-based game that didn't need to exist? I think so. I think so. Then we have Hitman, Blood Money. I appreciate the Hitman series, as it's really good series. A good sort of stealth action game. Very interesting series. I'm just not that good at them. But the new one is actually pretty decent, I've heard. Heroes of the Pacific, another Codemasters title. And yeah, 150 planes on screen at one time. That sounds quite pushing hardware quite far there. Hope it's better than the last plane game I played. Heroes of Might and Magic, Quest for the Dragonbone Staff. I think this is I'm not entirely sure what game this is. I think it's a dungeon crawler game, but interesting here, it says randomized gameplay means, which means everything's randomized. That could be an interesting one there. I love randomized games. I'm just going to close the curtain. Sorry, the light was shining on my face. I've noticed in my video, for some reason, I'm having to edit it together at the end, and I've noticed a tiny snippet of my video's gone missing in all of them. I don't know why it's doing that, but if it does that, I'm sorry. But you haven't really missed anything I've noticed. It's just been like a few seconds of talking. Hello Kitty Roller Rescue, of course, the game that every person needs to own, because Hello Kitty is absolutely my love, and I love Hello Kitty. Heat Seeker, again, I've heard good things about. Metal Jesus talked about this one before. It was also on PSP, sort of arcade Ace Combat style game. Then we have the 2 Headhunter games, Headhunter and Headhunter Redemption. I think these are sort of like action, third-person sort of action games. So if you're into that sort of thing, these ones are there for you. And they're Sony titles as well. Then we have Haven Call of the King, an average platformer by Midway. I was going to say Midas there, but no, it's not Midas. This game it's alright. I played a little bit of it, but I can't really get into a lot of these platformer games. I've just never been a big fan of them. I appreciate what they are, but not great at them. Then we have Jacked, I played a little bit of this multiplayer. It's a pretty fun road rash game. Fun game. Jackass the game. Yeah, I love the TV show. I think everyone watched Jackass growing up on MTV. Love the movies. This is what you'd expect. It's almost a joke game, I guess. And then we have Iron Man, the official video game from the first movie. Average. What do you expect? Superhero games are often terrible. Then we have ISS, International Soccer Superstar Soccer. Sorry. This is the precursor to Pro Evolution Soccer. International Supercarts. Yeah, if you like go-karting, this game's for you. I prefer the go-karting on Project Cars, mind you. Then we have International Snooker Championships. Once again, another snooker game. I do enjoy playing snooker and pool in real life. As for games, not really. International Q Club 2. I didn't even know there was a first one, and I don't know what the first one was on, but yeah, it's here. Let's enjoy it. Intellivision, the history of gaming lives. If you were a fan of the Intellivision growing up, this game's for you. However, I've heard bad things about this game because I heard the controls aren't that great. Although they tried to optimize it, but the Intellivision had a wonky controller. Then we have Inspector Gadget, Mad Robot Invasion. I remember Inspector Gadget growing up. Never really got into him, however. The only Inspector Gadget game I played was on Game Boy Advance. Then we have some IndyCar games. We have IndyCar Series and IndyCar Series 2005. So if you like IndyCar, these games are for you. Alright, here we go. Let's see. 007 Agent Under Fire, a game I've heard fantastic things about. Some people really enjoy these games. For me, James Bond games were more the multiplayer that I enjoyed playing growing up, and a lot of people will agree with me there. Then we have the Jak and Daxter games here. We've got all of them. I think I'm missing one, however. Jak and Daxter's The Precursors Legacy, Platinum Edition. I don't care about edition, sorry. Jak 2 Renegade. Jak 3 and Jak X, which is a racing game, I believe. The Jak and Daxter games are really cool sort of action. If you like Ratchet and Clank, it's similar to that sort of style of game. And I've played a little bit of them before, and they seem like games I'd enjoy. Jackie Chan Adventures, based on the old TV show with Jackie Chan in it. I remember playing this on Game Boy and not getting very far on it, but the PS2 version is there. Killer 7, a game that I've heard good things about. It's an interesting game, and it has a sort of weird combat style where you go into sort of like a first-person mode, and this is a very interesting game. I've heard good things about this game. Have to give it a go one day. Sorry, I'm not giving great descriptions. Some games I haven't played. Oh, and here's the other two Kessen games I already talked about. The Kessen series when I talked about Kessen 3. But I've only played a little bit of this game. And what I played was actually enjoyable. My sort of game. Justice League Heroes. It's almost as good as Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but it's nowhere near as good. And what I'm trying... Well, that's wrong. It's similar to Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but it's not as good as Marvel Ultimate Alliance. But it's an interesting beat-em-up style game with the Justice League. And the one on DS is terrible. Don't play the DS version. Just Cause. It all started somewhere. Just Cause series I've talked about before. A pretty fun series. Just never been great, however. Always had something that could have been better about them. And that's definitely the case. And then we had Juiced. I remember everyone talking about this game back in the day. Everyone had this game. Street racing style racing game. Also, the second one was on the Xbox 360. Judge Dredd, Dredd vs. Death. I loved the Sylvester Stallone movie. Didn't really care for the newer movie. The game is pretty decent, I will say that. I remember playing the multiplayer. Jetix, Puzzle Buzzle. Another Blast title, but actually it could be a fun little puzzle game, but it's made by Blast. I think Jetix were like a kids' TV channel. Jet Ski Riders, I don't even remember picking this game up, but yeah, a wave racer style game, if you like those sort of games. James Pond, codename Robocod. Looks awesome because it's a 2D platformer. Not many 2D platformers on the PS2, but that's an interesting one there. 007, Everything or Nothing, a game I've heard great things about. I believe this game has a co-op mode as well, an interesting one there, and the single player I hear is fantastic. Most James Bond games have been good, but there's been the fair share of bad ones. And then we've got some Lara Croft games here. I'll just take out the ones that I've got here. I got Lara Croft, Angel of Darkness. I remember this one as a kid, but I've heard that it's not as good as what people thought it was. Tomb Raider Legend and Tomb Raider Anniversary, which I believe is a sort of like, I'm not sure if it's a remake of like Tomb Raider 1 and 2. I don't know what it is, but the Tomb Raider games are a great series, don't get me wrong, but the only one I've really played all the way through was Tomb Raider, the one on the Xbox 360. Legend of K, this game was remastered, if you can believe that, so it must be good. But yeah, Le Mans 24 hours. I sincerely hope we do not have to race for 24 hours like I have to do on Project Cars. Well, not 24 hours in real time, but it's, yeah. Largo Winch, Empire Under Threat. I played a little bit of this game and I do not like it at all. I can't really get into it. Sort of like an adventure game, but it's not really my sort of game. LA Rush. I've heard good things about this game. It's a racing game. I think it's semi-open world. I'm not entirely sure. Looks interesting, and it's a PG game, so you don't really see a lot of PG, those sort of things. Those sort of certificates are more for movies than games. It's normally 12 or 7. Kuri Kuri makes an interesting sort of party game, and it's interesting because you can actually use, I'm sure in this game one person can use one side of the controller and one person can use the other one, which is an interesting concept, just not handled very well. The Kingdom Hearts series 1 and 2, fantastic series, but I've only put about an hour and a half into this game, so I can't really say that I really like them or not, but I know they're fantastic. New one's coming out soon. Killzone, excuse me. Killzone, a series that started on the PlayStation 2 and obviously made its way up until the PS4. Not many people talk about these games anymore, but they were good games for this time. Move them over. Lemony Snicket, a series of unfortunate events based on, I believe, the movie. I think this game is so-so. What do you expect? It's based on the average movie. Leisure Suit Larry, Magna Cum Laude, Uncut, another adult-themed game based on the old Leisure Suit Larry games, or Leisure Suit Larry, back on the old PC. It's not a good game, don't get me wrong, it's pretty bad, but you know, you've got naked chicks in there, or semi-naked chicks in their adult-themed games, so redeeming qualities for some, I suppose. And then we got the 2 Lego Star Wars games, 1 and 2. I remember when this first came out, I was all over this game. It was a novelty by today's standards, but back in the day, man, these games really were great. And they still are. Then we got Lego Racers 2. I loved playing the original on PS1, and I remember Legoland here in England used to have the PS1 version of the game in an arcade, well, a ride, but it was an arcade version of the game. Interesting game because you get to make your own vehicles in this game. And then we have Lego Indiana Jones, the original adventures. Again, fantastic game. Lego games are great. Lots of playability in them. Then we have Legion, the Legend of Excalibur. Looks like an average sort of RPG hack and slash style game. The case will not open for the life of me, there it will. Yeah, Midway title, or Midway. And then we have Legends of Wrestling, a shit wrestling game. I remember playing this with my mate, and he was on one side of the ring, I was on the other side of the ring, and when I say on the ring, I mean outside the ring. I threw a kendo stick and it managed to glitch through the ring and hit him on the head. That's how bad this game is. But yeah, the golden era didn't really get a lot of great wrestling games. I do have the second one. And then we have Manhunt, a very controversial game for its time, often considered one of the most violent games for its time. Got banned in so many different countries. censored in so many different countries. I think this country including, and Rockstar title. Is it a good game? It's average. It's alright, but it was shock factor for the most part. Malice, an average sort of platformer game. I've played a little bit of it, don't really like it though. The original Mafia, the only Mafia game I haven't played, so I'm definitely going to have to play this Mafia at some point, because I'm nearly finished with Mafia 3. And then we have Madden 2004, John Madden. Why are these games called Madden? Because Madden's a commentator, from what I know. Why is it not called just NFL? You know, why is it Madden? You know, it makes no really sense. What, you know, I know he's a very popular commentator, but why is it based on a commentator? You know, FIFA isn't called the commentator. I don't know the commentator's name, but yeah, Mace Griffin Bounty Hunter. It's a pretty average first-person sci-fi shooter. I remember seeing this game as a kid, thinking it was going to be awesome. Played it as an adult. It's alright. Lumines Plus, a pretty cool puzzle game from what I hear. I don't know how good the PS2 version is though. It was on a lot of PlayStation series. London Race World Challenge. Yeah, racing game again. Average. It looks average. You know, what can you expect? There's so many racing games. Looney Tunes Back in Action. I love the movie Looney Tunes Back in Action, and the PS2 version of the game comes with some bonus Looney Tunes cartoons on there, so of course I'll definitely have to watch them sometime, because I love my Looney Tunes. That's not sarcastic, that's true. Honestly, seriously, I love Looney Tunes. Freaking, I love them so much. I mean, I've got Sylvester on my bloody sock here, so that just goes to show how much I love it. Seriously, I do. Enough about that. Mashed, Drive to Survive. If you like Micro Machines, you probably enjoy this game. It's a similar style game. Mark Echoes Getting Up, Content Under Pressure. I've heard good things about this game. It's sort of like a beat 'em up slash game with graffiti. It's an interesting game. I've heard good things about it. Mercenaries, Playground of Destruction, made by Pandemic and LucasArts. Interesting game for its time. Is it a good game? Yes, it's a good game. But yeah, pretty fun game. Sorry, action open world game. Meet the Robinsons. I remember watching the movie. Haven't watched it since. Average. Looks like an average game. Mega Man X7, another rare title that I have, of course, a rare. I've heard good things. These are Mega Man games. The newer Mega Man games often get considered to be not as good in terms of Mega Man fans, but the games are actually quite hard to find, so happy to have at least one Mega Man game in my collection. Medal of Honor, Rising Sun and Frontline, obviously two fantastic first-person shooters. Many hours spent on this game as a kid, and the multiplayer and the co-op campaign. Frontline was almost as good as well. Maxed Out Racing, another Midas title. Looks like an average racing game. And then Maximo, the two Maximo games, Maximo and Maximo Army of Zin. This is basically 3D Ghost and Goblins. So if you enjoy the Ghost and Goblins games, this is a 3D version of the game. So it's quite a challenging game. But they're fun, they're good games. And then we have two fantastic series. This game was nominated for got a BAFTA award, which is interesting. Max Payne, these games were fucking awesome. They still are. I haven't played the second one really, but the first one was awesome back in the day. I remember this game and just being wow, like Rockstar had it on, man, before GTA. This was awesome. The third one was alright. I really hope they remaster these games because they're that good. Then we have Matt Hoffman Pro BMX. I remember seeing these back in the day of Tony Hawk, seeing these and always wanting to try one out because I love the Tony Hawk games. But yeah, BMX game. He-Man Masters of the Universe. He-Man Defender of Grayskull. If you like He-Man, you probably would enjoy this game. Though I don't know how good the game is, but I'm not that big of a fan of He-Man. Never really watched it. Maybe one day I will. Then we have Master Rally with an E at the end. I don't know why. Looks like a fun rally game, I suppose. So many rally games. Don't know which ones are the best ones, which ones are the bad ones. And then we have Mashed Fully Loaded. So I have two versions of this game. There's this one, and then there's also the Drive to Survive one as well. So there's many versions of this game, I think. One sec. Oh, so I think this is sort of like an expansion pack, from what I can gather. Then we have another racing series here. We have the Midnight Club series 1, 2 and 3 dub edition. Many hours spent on this game as well. Fantastic game back in the day. I love this game. Midnight Club needs to make a comeback. It really does. Rockstar's open world racing game. Awesome series. Awesome series. Fucking light. Can't win with the light. Can't win. And then we have Midway Arcade Treasures. A fantastic compilation of Midway titles. The main reason I loved playing Smash TV back in the day on this, and it's still a fun game. I love Smash TV. Yeah. Oh, I also want to mention there are about 15 or so games that I've got at my mum's on PS2 that I took down at some point, so I have to bring them back. So I am missing a few, but yeah. So yeah, then we have Micro Machines, the Atari version. Do not play this version of the game. Play the Codemasters version. It's much better because I do have V4 and that's at my mum's. Metal Slug 5. Surprisingly, this game's actually quite, again, on profiling websites, you can't really find it as well, so, but Metal Slug's awesome series. Speaking of awesome series, we've got the Metal Gear series, of course, Metal Gear Solid 2 and 2 Substance, again, awesome game, very good sequel, and then came Snake Eater, the most, one of the best sequels to a game ever, and it comes in this slipcase variant, which I've never ever seen this slipcase variant before, which is why I got it. And even when I bought it, they say to me, I've never seen that variant before. Fantastic series. I have got the Subsistence edition as well of Metal Gear Solid 3. So I've got all the Metal Gear games on PS2 apart from one, which is the document of Metal Gear Solid, and that's a sort of like DVD comic graphic novel kind of thing, which is hard to find, surprisingly. Metal Gear Solid, I'm going to do an overview video on that one day. And we got Metal Arms, Glitch in the System. I've heard good things about this game. Looks like a sort of Ratchet and Clank style game. So if you enjoy that sort of thing, that might be for you. And then we got Mercenaries 2 World in Flames. I played this on the Xbox 360 and it's a pretty good game for its time, don't get me wrong. And then we have Mr. Golf, Midas title, golf game. It looks like everybody's golf, to be honest. Mr. Bean, a very well-known icon here in the UK, and one that I absolutely love. And this is a game based on the animated series. Unfortunately, it's made by Blast, so it's probably going to be terrible. But I had to have it because I love Mr. Bean. Motor Siege Warriors of Primetime. Don't really know much about it other than it looks like a sort of futuristic racing game with weapons and stuff. So yeah, it might be interesting. And we got MotoGP, Namco's motorbike game. This is also an arcade game as well. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. I love the Mortal Kombat games. And this one's an awesome one. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of sort of bonus modes on this one, unfortunately, but it's still there. It's Mortal Kombat. Then we have Monster Jam, Maximum Destruction. Again, I already talked about the Monster Jam games being awesome monster truck games, and this one's just as good. And then we have Monopoly Party. I loved Monopoly on PS1. I'm going to have to get that back. I loved playing Monopoly. I love playing Monopoly in real life. I love playing it on the virtual version. So if you want to play Monopoly without having to set up the board and worrying about people breaking the stuff and throwing houses all over the place, get a digital version of the game. And then we have Minority Report, Everybody Runs. I've heard mixed reviews on this game. Action game. I don't think it's based on a movie or anything like that. Then we have Mike Tyson's Heavyweight Boxing. I believe this was also on the PS1. And yeah, so another boxing game. Looks like a pretty cool boxing game, won't lie. And then we got the two other Midway arcade treasures. The first one, which I already showed, doesn't have the number 1 on there, so there's two versions. There's the normal red one without the number, and then there's an orange one. The second one, again, comes with more classics on there. And the third one comes with just 8 classic racing games, and it comes with Hydro Thunder, so that's a reason to have it. Oh, and here we have some, then we have some Need for Speed games. I do have more, but they're all over the place, so sorry. Need for Speed Pro Street, this is where I stopped really giving a shit about Need for Speed, to be honest. I preferred the street racing game, so I wasn't that bit of a, that interested in this one. Most Wanted, in my opinion, the last Need for Speed game that I really enjoyed. This game is fantastic. One of the best Need for Speed games ever made. And great game for its time. Still is a great game. Get the Xbox 360 version, which is quite uncommon, surprisingly. And there's also a black version as well, called the Black Edition, which is it's quite hard to find. Need for Speed Carbon, again, this is sort of the last Need for Speed game, the last one where it sort of was street racing focused. Obviously they brought it back with Need for Speed Underground, the newer one, but this one's good, but I didn't really care much for any of the Need for Speed games after that one. NBA Live 07, I don't think this works because I'm sure I tried playing this game with my mate and it didn't work. Basketball games, NBA Jam 2004, or it's just NBA Jam, but it came out in 2004. NBA Jam's great arcade basketball games. NBA 2K8, again, the NBA games never really appealed to me, but maybe I'll give them a go one day because I do like to play sport games as a competitive thing against my friend, not so much on my own, however. NASCAR 07, I had one on the PS1 as a kid and I loved it. Haven't played one since though. Then we got MX 2002 featuring Ricky Carmichael. I think it's how you spell it. Pronounce it again. Yeah, so interesting. When you got this game, it came with 2 tickets to go and see the British Motocross Championships. Yeah. Not anymore. Orphean Scorn of Sorcery. I believe this was a launch title or an early based game, and it's looks like an average RPG. Operation Winback, another sort of third-person action shooter made by Midas again. And then we have the Onimusha games. We got here Onimusha Warlords, Onimusha 2 and Onimusha 3. I believe there's also another one that I'm missing. These games are pretty awesome games. They're like Ninja Gaiden, Devil May Cry style games. So if you enjoy them, you enjoy these. Quite tough games, but Capcom titles. Oni, an early Rockstar title. Yeah, this is sort of like an animated, or like an anime themed third person action shooter. It's interesting, nothing special by today's standards, however. And then we have Ninja Assault, another Namco, or this, I believe, yeah, it's Namco, a light gun game with ninjas and stuff like that. I love my light gun shooters. Unfortunately, I can't really experience them as well as I want to. Nicktoons, Attack of the Toy Bots, SpongeBob, Jimmy Neutron, Tak, Danny Phantom, sort of like platformer, beat 'em up style games. These are average games. There was quite a few of them. NHL Hits 2002. This is sort of like the action version of the sports games where you can have fights and stuff like that in them. So the more arcadey style ones. And then we got some NHL games, 2003 and 2005. I have no idea who's on the front. Don't follow NHL. Need for Speed Underground 2, a game that has a lot of fucking redeeming qualities and a fantastic game. I do have the first one somewhere. I don't think it's here. I think it's at my mum's. So I do have the first one. Great game. Many hours on that game spent. I preferred the first one over the second one, but still. Let me Play It Pinball. However, it's just called Pinball. It looks on average. It's just a pinball game, you know. I love my pinball. Gotta have the games. Pitfall, The Lost Expedition, and it includes Pitfall 1 and 2 on here as well. 3D Pitfall game. I'm not very good at Pitfall. I remember in Marvel Ultimate Alliance, there's a part where you have to do Pitfall, and it pissed me off so much. Pippa Fennell, Take the Reins. Or Pippa Fennell 2. It says 2 on there. I don't know why it says 1. It's, I guess, a horse adventure game. Probably a girl game. Then we have Pirates of the Caribbean, The Legend of Jack Sparrow. Made by Bethesda. That is crazy, man. I think this is a co-op hack and slash game. I believe this is alright. I don't know a lot about it. Then we have one of my only few limited editions on PS2. Limited Collector's Edition of King Kong. The official game of the movie. Or Peter Jackson's King Kong. This is an alright first person shooter. And then slash mode where you get to be King Kong. It's a good game. I just get to a part where I can't do it. And then I sort of gave up on it. This game has a bit of bad memories for me because this was the game that I was playing when I heard the news about my granddad passing away. So, yeah. Then we have Perfect Ace 2, the championships. Tennis game. I don't really have a lot of things to say about tennis other than I don't really watch it or play it. Then we have Penny Racers, another Takara themed game. I believe this game was on the N64. As well on the PS1. Paris-Dakar Rally. I used to love watching the Paris-Dakar Rally on videos and stuff. And there's a game based on it. I believe they're making a new one, however. Over the Hedge, a movie that was forgotten by today's standards. But the game, however, was so much fun. I played this game to death back in the day. And then we have Outlaw Tennis, a more mature themed tennis game. Why? I don't know. It exists and they needed to make Outlaw Tennis. I believe there was also Outlaw Volleyball as well. Reservoir Dogs. Yeah. Based on the movie. I've heard bad things about this game. I hear this game's about like 3 hours long or something like that. So, yeah, it's too bad Achievements didn't exist on the PS2. Rain of Fire, Let the Battle Ignite. I believe it's I believe in this game it's sort of like it's a third person action shooter and you can be dragons and stuff. I believe it's based on a movie. Then we have the Red Faction games. As a kid, these were great games. By today's standards, they're average, but they were great games for their time. First person shooters. Red Dead Revolver, the original Red Dead Redemption, yeah. Rockstar game. To be honest, I played a little bit of this game and I enjoyed what I played, but then I got to a point, I think I just gave up on it though. I don't know, but I've heard this is a great game when you play it all the way through. Red Card, same game, different rules. A football game where you actually get, yeah, it's like another football game, but like you can punch people and you tackle people, whereas in real football doing that you get disqualified or red cards and stuff like this. In that game it makes you you have to do it in order to win and stuff like that. I don't really know. I've heard mixed reviews about it though. Quake 3 Revolution. Quake 3 was an arena battle shooter, and here's the PS2 version of the game. Fantastic, by the way. PsyOps, the Mindgate Conspiracy. I've heard mixed reviews on this game. Some people like it, some people don't. I can't really say my opinions on it. Project Eden. I think it's a third-person shooter. Yeah, it's a third-person shooter game. So it looks average, but it could be fun. RC Revenge Pro. I loved this game as a kid, man. I think it was also the one I played was on PS1, but this was awesome, man. I love this game. If you like Revolt, this was the game. This is a great racing game. Radio controlled cars, man. Rayman 3, Hoodlum Havoc. I don't really have any nostalgia for this Rayman game because I've never played it. iToy Play 3 in this orange case, and the disc just fell out. Thank you very much. Yeah, again, these iToy games, by today's standards, they're nothing special, but they were fun back in the day, man. Rally Fusion, Race of Champions. I believe it's sort of like a sequel to the one on PS1, and the one on PS1 was a very challenging rally game. Rally Championship, just Rally Championship. Yeah, not even championships, just championship. I enjoy rally games, as you know. So yeah, SCI game. Raging Blades. I thought this was going to be an RPG, but it's not. It's a Power Stone sort of battle arena fighting game. So yeah, Raceway, Dragon Stock Racing. Yeah, if you want to play drag racing and stock racing, this is the game for you. Read this title. And then the last bit we have here. Not a lot to say of a few of these games in here. Pro Rally 2002, another rally game. I've got so many of them. And you know what? I love playing rally games. They're just so much fun. I love them. And then we got the PES games here. Pro Evolution Soccer. The original. I remember having this game as a kid. I used to play it quite a bit. Not really so much today. 2, 3, I did play this one, and for some reason, this game, I don't know why, but it was overly complicated for the menu system was. 4 and 5, often referred to as the why the fuck do they keep making these games, because FIFA is the go-to game. But some people prefer the PES games. Some people do, some people don't. I don't really care. Prisoner of War, Codemaster's title. It looks sort of like a stealth-based World War II style game. And then we got a fantastic series here. Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time, Warrior Within, and The Two Thrones. Great series. They need to bring out the Xbox One and PS4 versions of these games. They did do it on PS3, but it would be great to see a full remake. When I say not just a collection, a full remake with 60 FPS, 1080p, 4K graphics, all that stuff. Sands of Time, this game is amazing for its time. And these are Ubisoft titles. So I like to think these as precursors to the Assassin's Creed games, just because of the free running and stuff like that. 6 games left. Primal. I've heard good things about this game. It's a Sony game. Sony Corporation game. And I've heard good things about this game. It looks like an action game. Predator Concrete Jungle. Everyone says this game's really good. It is good. But I got to a part on it where I had no idea what I was meant to do. So maybe I'll play it again one day. Power Rangers Dino Thunder. Surprisingly, the Power Rangers games were actually very good, especially on Game Boy. As for this one, I don't know how good this one was. There is also another one as well. Portal Runner, made by 3DO, and she is a character in Vicky, her name is. I don't know her second name. But she is a character in the Army Men universe, the 3D Army Men game. Pop Idol. Yeah, Pop Idol. I don't know if this is a karaoke game where you need to have the karaoke thing. But by the looks of it, it doesn't say that you need a mic. So, yeah. And last but not least, another adult game to end it off with, Playboy the Mansion. It looks like Sims, but Playboy. That's an adult version of The Sims. Or it might be a strategy game. I have no idea what this game's about. Alright then, there we go. That's part 4. This was the big part, and I've only got 2 more parts left. Kind of sad, really. Kind of sad. It's all going, man. But yeah. So, I'm going to end this part here. Hopefully I don't have to edit these 2 bits together. Please don't fuck me over again. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like. And of course, feel free to comment below. Let me know what you've been up to and all this stuff. Everything, let me know. I'll love to hear it. I'm going to play some Mafia 3 tonight, I think. Heather said she's going to play some Xbox with some other people tonight. So I'm probably going to play some Mafia 3 tonight. And I want to get the game finished, but I'm also at that point now where I'm like, I want to play something else. But I'll get it finished and leave it at that. And of course, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already and join the family. And of course, have a nice day. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care and bye-bye.